morning and welcome to Salida Scene. I'm Dara McDonald, City Administrator, and with me today is our Mayor, Jim Levici.
Hello, hello.
Are we starting with the weather report again?
No weather report. It's beautiful here, though. Beautiful.
It is gorgeous. So what would you like to talk about today?
Well, I guess kind of a little brief history. It seems like a lot of people come through town, but they don't realize what we have downtown in our historic district. And just kind of a little rehash. Salida was started in, I think it was 1880, and a big thing that happened there was the DNRG Railroad, and from there it kind of progressed and brought more and more mining and so forth. Then in the early 70s, I think it was 1971, the railroad pulled out and had a major impact on our community, and that's when it kind of turned into more of a historic tourism, rafting and all the recreational stuff. So that's kind of important. Also, during that time frame, it was the historical district that was formed, and it is what it is now down there because of the people that had the foresight to kind of, let's go in this direction. From there, we had the Rotary Amphitheater and the River Walk, and so steam plant, all that stuff downtown, and it's just truly amazing what we have to offer down there. So I encourage people to look it up and understand what we're all about. So
yeah, and I'd just add in recent years how the local business owners and nonprofits have leveraged the assets of downtown and added to that with the trail system connecting right into downtown. So even more options and opportunities, things to do right out of downtown.
Exactly, and you probably could explain that new one we just put in better than I can because I don't walk it, but it's really exciting.
Yeah, so lots of access to the river. I think when it was a railroad town, the railroad and the businesses sort of turned their back on the river, and it was sort of a dumping ground
Right.
where all the spare concrete ended up apparently in all of town. So over the last 10 years, there's been a lot of effort to open up access to the river. And most recently, we just had the ribbon cutting a couple of weeks ago on a whole new section of really nice, beautiful concrete trail right along the river, right in downtown. So.
And I was down there Saturday, and we're already very busy, and it's really exciting to see the kids playing in the river. And I'm not exactly sure if it's, I don't know, those platforms that they're on the river with. What do they call those?
Oh, the stand-up paddleboards?
Yeah, okay, whatever they call them. You see them out there, something I couldn't do, but more power to them that can do
definitely
it.
a growing sport. There's going to be a big stand-up paddleboard event this year as part of FIBARC for the first year. Really, we've had stand-up paddleboards before, but this will be a real big focus on stand-up paddleboards.
It's real exciting to see all the people and kids, and real excited to be downtown.
Don't forget the dogs.
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay.
Some of the stuff I kind of pulled up on the internet that's on our website is some of the links, and I think it's important that people understand that there's so much to offer here. But on the same token, I'm going to give you a portion of where to go to. So within our city website, we have the links, and it's on the recreational homepage. And on that, you have the Arkansas Headwater Recreation Area. You got the Chaffee County Running, the dogs, and like you just mentioned, a list of resources for dog lovers, Monarch Mountain, which we've talked about numerous times about skiing and so forth, the Salida Cyclones, the Salida Mountain Trails, and we have 30 miles of actual trails now, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. So I think that's very exciting. And then our Salida Parks Trail and Open Space spot, they call it, and their mission is to promote and creation, preservation, improvement and appreciation of parks, open space, trails in the Salida area. So that's a big portion of what we have to offer. And then just a lot, some of the stuff that we do during the course of the summer, we take it for granted, but I think a lot of people don't understand, like FIBARC and what is that? We have the bluegrass.
Memorial Day bluegrass on the Arkansas.
And what is the ball?
Volcano. Right.
Kind of explain what that is.
Okay, so the Volcano is a new event this year that'll be happening this Saturday, I believe, and that's a collaboration and a fundraiser for the Crest Academy, and it's Crest Academy partnering with the Salida Creative District, and it should be really exciting to see. I understand they're going to be launching different size balls off of the top of Tenderfoot, and lots and lots and lots
It's
of
gonna be
them.
coming down. And,
Yeah, bouncing down the mountain, and so you can, as part of the fundraiser, you can buy one of those balls, and depending on how much money you give, you get a different size ball. So definitely check that out. It should be really entertaining to watch.
It is exciting. What a different way to fundraise. I mean, it was really, really positive. Some other stuff is, we have the chamber, we got the Fib Arc, the Salida Fiber Fest, and some of the farming and nature and conservation stuff we have on the website is also the Central Colorado Food Shed, Alliance Farmers Market every weekend. I'm not sure how long that lasts.
Starts the weekend before FIBARC, I believe, so mid-June.
Okay.
And that goes until Shed Fest, which I think is the second weekend of October, if I'm not mistaken.
And that's always exciting. I mean, it's always
it's so fun.
Oh man, there's a lot of stuff going on there. So it kind of draws the community in there to buy fresh produce and arts and all that kind of stuff. So that's very exciting. And then we also have the Great Arkansas River Nature Association, GARNA, and they've done a lot for our community. We talk about the scout hut and so forth, and what's happened down there, and all the excitements with that being developed, and in relation to the river. And I think it's just very exciting to have all that going on. So that's kind of some of the stuff I wanted to kind of talk about today, and I think it's something that's very important to our community, and we encourage people to understand and know more that we're just not just down the highway. Downtown, we have a very historical district. So.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And some of those events are going to be pretty fun this year. FIBARC is looking like it's going to have some really high water again.
Okay.
Last year was a pretty high water year. I think we peaked at over 4,000 CFS in downtown right now. Yesterday we were just over 900 CFS.
900 already.
So quite a bit more to go.
What about the hooligan race?
So the hooligan race last year for
Maybe I'd explain what it is.
So the hooligan race is a great event. It's so fun. It's hilarious. But it's everything that floats that's not a boat. And people do laps on the river and sort of have a boater cross, if you will. Release 10 of these crafts at once, and it's just a fun race.
And don't they try to grab a $100 bill on
They
the wire or something?
in the past tried to, over the main hole by the boat ramp, hang money from a wire across there and have people try and leap into the hole and grab the money. But when the river gets too high, we do cancel that race because it tends to be a race where everybody ends up in the water.
Right.
And so when the water gets over 4,000, we do cancel that because it becomes very difficult for people to get to shore and get out. So watching that river level really closely over the next couple of weeks. And state parks, we work really closely with them on safety, and they ultimately do make that call.
Okay. That was really exciting. My girls have been involved with that, so they all think
really
they're going to get the
fun.
$100 bill, but they never have. So.
Well, I think too, the good thing about FIBARC is there's lots and lots of other events too, and land races, mountain bike, running races, all of the whitewater events, and tons of music, and free music in the downtown. So a really good time with or without the hooligan race.
It's going to be very exciting for us, for sure.
One thing I heard too about Fiberfest recently was that nationally, that festival here in Salida has been recognized as one of the top fiber festivals in the country and most popular destinations to come to, and that's in early September. And a really fun event. I mean, really started here locally, still managed by a group of volunteers. But just one more example of sort of the diverse nature of the community, bringing together a whole different segment that I wasn't necessarily very familiar with, but which has attracted thousands of people to come.
And now we also have the beer fest, or is that what they call it?
The Brewers Rendezvous.
Right. And that's
the weekend after the 4th.
Always exciting.
That is fun. I think we'll have about 75 breweries from all around Colorado in town again for that fun event on a Saturday afternoon in the sunshine.
I think it's, I guess what I'm trying to say is we have an exciting town, very positive, and I encourage everyone to come. I encourage everyone to get on the, what do they call that, Lori.
The Chamber website.
Website. There you are. Okay.
The Chamber, SalidaChamber.com.
Right. You get on that, you can see a lot of these events that we're having, and it's very exciting. Hopefully you all can join and enjoy with our festivities.
Yep. Colorful Colorado is a great one. The Salida Chamber website, both really good for information about what's happening in and around Salida this summer.
And we're very excited, and I think it's going to be a great summer, so I'm looking forward to it.
Good, me too. Well, we'll be right back with more Salida Scene.
Thank you.
Youth in Action is a free literacy program that matches middle school students with preschool students. The middle school students and preschool student matches meet after school once a week right here in Chaffee County. This is an exciting time for the preschool students as their world is being opened up to letters, sounds, and words. Hi, I'm Kenny Wilcox, Youth in Action Coordinator. You can visibly see the transformation take place in the preschoolers as they read stories about places, animals, heroes, and faraway lands that they can only imagine. The middle school students get to be a part of this time in the lives of the preschoolers, while also gaining real life skills of responsibility, commitment as they care for their preschooler. Learning is encouraged through local field trips to places like the police and fire stations, hospital, and Humane Society.
My favorite experience with my preschooler was going to the police station. He was really excited to do that. So was I, and so we had a lot of fun there and we got to learn a lot.
Youth in Action is an interactive program that incorporates snacks, crafts, games, and play where creativity is always welcome. Families of the middle school and preschooler are welcome and encouraged to attend something we call Family Showcase. Family Showcase happens once a month and is an opportunity for the middle school and preschooler to show their parent or guardian exactly what we've been up to. It also gives the parent or guardian an opportunity to see this developing relationship between the preschooler and the middle schooler.
My best experience with my mentee was probably when we went out to the high school to fly kites. It taught him a little sharing and it was just really fun.
If you'd like more information about the Youth in Action program or want to get involved, check us out on chaffeementors.org, or you can call me at 719-530-2581. To enroll your child in the Youth in Action program, simply pick up an application at your child's school office.
Welcome back to Salida Scene, where we get to the heart of what's happening. I'm City Administrator Dara McDonald, and with me this morning is our Police Chief, Terry Clark.
Good morning. Good
Welcome.
morning. A beautiful, beautiful day out there.
So summer seems to be finally upon us.
Yes, thank goodness. It's
Just
finally
about.
arrived.
Graduation this coming weekend, last Memorial Day weekend.
Yes, yeah.
believe it is.
Coming up. I was just having to think on that, but yeah.
School's getting out, and we're getting ready for summer.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about summer and safety and how to have fun in a safe and responsible manner.
Sure. Yeah, that was kind of a topic I could hoping I could bring out today a little bit. But with summer on and school out, one thing you'll notice for sure, we're a bicycling community, pedestrian community.
We are.
Throughout the year, but when summer finally hits and the kids are out of school, that really increases the amount of foot traffic, the bicycles, and I shouldn't forget the skateboards and all the other wheel devices that I see around town coming down the street and on the sidewalks and that. But I think, as I commute around town or driving around town, the one thing that I notice sometimes it could just ask everybody to work on, one, trying to be a little bit more patient with bicyclists, pedestrians. When you're behind the wheel, you seem to want to go quick, and I know kind of know how that feeling is. But if we could really stretch the patience out there and realize that we really do need to share the road, share the facilities around, and I think fortunately over the years we've had very few incidents in Salida involving bicyclists, but it's one that we do receive a lot of calls on, and it's usually an irate driver that just could not get where they were going, or somebody wouldn't yield the way with the bicycle. So
Yeah, one thing, I mean, I ride a bike and
Yes.
I also drive a car or two on occasion.
Right.
But one thing I always try and keep in mind when I am in the position in the car and there's a bicyclist who's not aware of me or not being responsive, I just remember all I have to do is move my ankle and press a pedal. I have time. There's no hurry. Bicyclist is working a little bit harder, so and they're a little bit more vulnerable. So
Yes.
just give them a little space and slow down. That's what Salida is all about anyway. You're not going to get anywhere too much faster by going another 3 miles an hour faster in your car. So
Exactly.
just enjoy the scenery a little bit more.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, good. Trails. We have lots of trails in town these days.
Yes, yeah, beautiful trails, and they're being utilized, a lot. I think what I was wanting to kind of bring up, leading into the trails on that specifically, one, encourage everybody to use the trails as much as they can. It is safer. It's a good way to travel across town and around, but obviously the streets are going to be used. People commuting to work and kids going downtown to the skate parks and stuff like that. But the trail intersections, where they, where I call them intersections specifically at First, Third, Fifth, Holman Avenue, and that. One thing I'd like to point out there, one, a good deal of the time the bicyclists will shoot across the road, and it's really kind of a no-no there. It's something I'd like to explain to people on that. Really, if you're doing that, one, safety-wise, you should stop, as you would at the trail where it hits the street at, and look both ways on that. And two, I do think the drivers are looking pretty good, but a lot of times the speeds is 20, 30 miles an hour there. So in order for them to get stopped, if that bike shoots out where they can't be seen, and some of the trails where they're located at coming across the street has a kind of a narrow amount of open view where the driver could see that. So, one thing, that we could do there is for sure make sure that people are stopping on the trail, and ask everybody that's driving, to really keep an eye out for the bicyclists that are coming up to those trail intersections. Whether they come to a complete stop, but at least something that resembles, they've kind of looked both ways, and traffic square.
Yeah, and this has been a sort of a growing concern as the trail system has become more popular in town. And I know just in the past year, the city has put up stop signs along the trail to remind the trail users that it is the trail user's obligation to stop in these situations, while traffic is supposed to yield to people in the crosswalk, particularly pedestrians, not necessarily bikes. But it's for your own safety, and it is the law to stop first before crossing at those intersections. And so we have put up a lot of signs for the drivers in advance of the trails, the big yellow signs warning that there's a crossing, and then as well along the trails, the stop signs for the bikers and joggers and hikers out there.
I think they've worked out well. Yeah, I've noticed a difference, at the trail. I call it the trail intersection, on that, but I think the signage has definitely helped on that. So.
Well, good. Well, hopefully everyone will remain aware and safe about that, because I agree it's a great way to get to and from downtown and out to Walmart now. And it's great.
Yep.
Highway 50 and the bike lanes.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to touch on that, since now we've had them. How long have we had them?
I think they were installed in October.
October, and I've, obviously I drive Highway 50 quite a lot, like you do, and I know you and I's talked, about that. Really, I haven't seen heavy usage of the bike lanes out there, but in this last 2 weeks, I've been out on the highway quite a lot. I'm seeing a little bit more usage out there, with this, and I think there's been use all along, and I don't anticipate we're probably going to have ever, where it's just a, constant stream of bicycles coming down the highway. But the way I see it's kind of working on there, I think it's working fairly well. And I think, talking to the guys on the department, and myself kind of looking at it, I think our concern all along has probably been what I call the turning traffic. And I think even CDOT or traffic engineers, safety experts would agree, that turning with bicyclists, and if you're, I call it the right-hand turn, if you're on 50. Either side, you know, mostly it's going to be on what I call the north side of the highway. A lot of right-hand turns there, because those are quick. You know, what I'm trying to say is the bike and the front of your car is close together. So that's been the concern. I encountered this last night. I waited. It was a little bit slow for out on a 40-mile-an-hour deal, but we got caught between. I was making a turn onto the highway and a quick turn back off, and the bike was right in between me, but I waited, and it worked. Had I rushed up and done this, we could have had a cutoff situation. So I think the bicyclists, for the most part, what I can see, they're really paying attention to those turns. I hope anyway, because that's going to be the danger zone there. That, you know, and heaven forbid, you know, somebody that's not paying attention drifting into the bike lane. But you know, if you're doing that, you could drift up on the sidewalk or where else anyway. But, yeah, I give it a thumbs up. It's working.
Good. Well, I expect we will see a lot more traffic usage coming up. We do have all the people who ride through, you know, those wild people who are trying to ride across the country or things like that, which is great for them. But we get a lot of that kind of traffic through on Highway 50, so this gives them a clear place. And then people trying to access the trails over on the Methodist Mountain side of things. So I do agree we'll probably see more, though not as much, you know, not people like going to work or going shopping really using that. It's more the recreation, I think.
Yeah, and I hope they continue to use the trail out to the Walmart system and out there anyway. You know, just I think it's a better view, scenic, and I think it's a little bit safer. On that.
I agree. Parking, always a hot topic, and now that downtown is so vibrant and busy, it's becoming more of a topic. So talk a little bit about parking in the downtown.
Yeah, the lack of parking, I call it anyway, and that's a good thing. There just isn't any way to create a whole lot more, although you know the city has worked on it. There's, you know, we've had some good scores, I call it, on the parking lots, and I think we've got three downtown. And I would encourage, you know, people, as far as day to day during events, anytime you can, one, if you don't have to drive downtown, don't. You know, walk, ride your bike, ride your scooter, you know, ride your skateboard, whatever you need to do to get downtown. But if you do, one, try the parking lots first before you go to the on-street. One, it's free. You know, there's not a 2-hour limit on that. So last, if you are using the 2-hour, you know, parking, remember it is 2-hour enforced parking downtown. And
what time does that end in the evening?
It's 5, yeah, 9 to 5. And our code enforcement animal control is actively working the 2-hour parking zone down there. So I know during events it gets really tight down there. So especially what I said about that is true during event times on that, because it's, you know, you will not get a parking spot down there typically within 3 or 4 blocks.
Right. So those 3 parking lots. So we have the one at the end of F Street, across the bridge, next to Safeway along the trail. It's a great parking lot that's not always full. Quite often not full. And then on First Street, right next to the trail, across the street from the skate park.
Yes.
It's another good, about 60 spaces in there. So.
Yeah, and that one's being used a lot. You know, I noticed that a lot of the day. You know. I think they all are, you know, especially the one down in the right of way, down below F, and the one on First Street.
Yeah, and you mentioned, I think we are working with the Union Pacific right now to try and expand the size of that parking lot at the end of F Street too. So fingers crossed that we'll be able to get a little bit more parking here out of the Union Pacific. Well, good. Well, thanks so much for coming in and talking with us, Chief Clark.
You bet. Thank you.
Well, great. So this is Salida Scene, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Salida Scene, where we get to the heart of what's happening. I'm City Administrator Dara McDonald, and with me today is our Public Works Director, Bob Salmi. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's always good to be here in Salida.
Oh, sure. It's a beautiful day outside, too.
Yeah. So, summer construction season is upon us, and you and your departments are pretty much in charge of all of the construction that's happening on the municipal side here in Salida. So we want to talk a little bit today about all of the projects that are going on.
Well, there's quite a few.
There are quite a few. So start with some of the big ones. Street projects. Everybody's always interested in street projects. What's the big happening this summer?
Well, 11th Street from one end to the other, to complete 11th Street is going to get redone, resurfaced. Right now, they are crossing the road with sewer lines that from alley to alley. So down the road, we don't have to dig it up if there's ever a sewer problem. They'll have new sewer line underneath the street, underneath the blacktop. We're not replacing the water main because it's a 6-inch and we think it's in pretty good shape, but we're going to retap the service lines going to the houses. I think this project is going to go along rather good and quickly once we get started. It won't be as long as H Street was because we're not going to be changing out the whole main. But we should have a real good street in 11th Street by the time we're done toward fall.
So I know we try really hard, of course, to hire local contractors for the jobs that we have when we can, although we do have obviously competitive bidding requirements from state statute. So you've been working really hard to make sure that we go out to bid with these bigger projects early in the year.
Right.
And to try and make sure that our local contractors are aware of those and giving them an opportunity to bid. So Avalanche, I understand, is doing the 11th Street job.
Right.
They have the award, and then I noticed they've been using Y&K as one of their subs, which is great. They're doing the sewer work right now.
Yep, they're another local contractor, so we're keeping everybody local busy.
Yeah.
And I do like to go out to bid early in the year because that's when the contractors are looking to sew something up that they have in the spring, and I think that we get a good price advantage by doing that.
So other street projects, what else is on tap for this summer?
We're going to redo the corner by the Boys and Girls Club, and we've been experimenting with different things. I'm kind of excited about the new design and how it's going to work, and the C Street 2 blocks that are connected to it, we'll have that redone also because it's been in pretty bad shape. So that project shouldn't take too long once they get going on it.
And has that been bid yet?
Yes, that's been bid, and Avalanche is going to be doing that also.
Great. And then we have some slurry seals, some maintenance work happening.
Slurry seal will be happening probably, I think, in June or July. And that'll be mostly I and J Street. And we've got some patching to do on the roads. The council let me spend some money on some patching that needs to be done before the slurry seal because there's some places that the base failed and, underneath the asphalt. So we're going to get those fixed. And there's spots all over town that we put together in one big bid package. And it'll be good to get those all cleaned up because that'll stop a lot of the pothole problems and the base failure and everything. So one of the larger ones is down on Scott Street and where we had put in the curb and gutter to try and alleviate a really bad drainage situation that we've been having over the years. So, you know, that'll be good to get that done and caught up, and it'll be a good start.
So in general, a good combination of both maintenance work and new big construction rebuilds going on all around town.
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
like this summer.
We also have a job that's coming along very good that Pridemore Construction is doing, PMS. They are digging up from the courthouse and going up on
Crestone Avenue.
Crestone Avenue, and they've been doing really well. I'm very surprised and pleased at how they've been doing. They haven't run into many problems, but they did run into a huge boulder that was in the way.
We have those around here.
Yeah,
don't
they
we?
didn't expect it in that location, but usually it's all sand.
Yeah,
But
there's a lot of sand up there.
that was okay. They're going to have that road done pretty soon, and some of that will be paved. That sewer line was important because of the growth down at the end of Crestone, and we really needed a larger line, so we changed it all to where we have 8-inch. So we're making a lot of good progress, and we're also digging up in places around town. Avalanche again, they've been getting the bids, and they are digging up sewer lines in the alleys. And they've got probably more than half of those done. That goes along with the slip lining that we did last winter, and that really worked out pretty well. So we're doing okay.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about that. I guess a year, 2 years ago, really started taking sort of a comprehensive look at our entire wastewater collection system, all the pipes underground, and you camera those and take video of the condition and then evaluate that condition and prioritize what needs to be replaced or what can be slip lined or what needs to be upsized, and sort of come up with an overall plan that you've been implementing the last couple of years.
That's right. It took quite a couple of years to get all of the information done and cataloged and put in the computer, so we really had a database with everything in it. We have some sewer lines that definitely need fixing, and we're doing that. But overall, when looking at the pictures, I've been very pleasantly surprised at the condition of what we have. I'd like to change out all the 6-inch eventually to 8-inch, but we can't do that overnight. But we are taking care of the places that the sewer lines have failed or had rocks fall in them that they're just been problematic, and a lot of roots and such. So just taking the worst ones and trying to get them done.
That's great. So that work is ongoing too. This spring we were doing a lot of sidewalk work. Is that wrapped up for the season?
No, it isn't wrapped up, but Avalanche has so many jobs going on, they kind of took the crew away for a little while.
Okay.
And they're working on the sewer line project, so we'll be back to the sidewalks again.
And so again, that's the City Council's direction over the past few years to go through and inventory the condition of all the sidewalks throughout town and to start repairing them. And we've been, I think this is the third or fourth year.
I think it's the 4th year, I really do.
Yeah.
We've been spending the money on it. And the sidewalks, I really think that, for the most part, I'm not saying all of them, but I think most of the safety problems have been gotten rid of, because we had so many that were popped up from roots and frost moved and everything that, between replacing and getting some of them shaved down to where they were legal and not a big trip hazard, I think we've done pretty good with that. But it's ongoing. We still have more to do.
So switching gears a little bit, I don't know if everyone out there realizes that your department also does all of the buildings and grounds. And so as part of that, you're doing projects in parks this year, quite a few. We have the walkways going in Alpine Park.
That should be starting, I think, next week. There's a contractor, John Dieslin got the bid, DSI, and they subbed it out to a company that we've worked with before, and I think that they can make quick work of it and get those walkways redone, and that'll be a good thing because we've been trying to get it done the last few years. We've got a few other things going on that are going to have to wait until fall, like the new playground down at Riverside.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great playground. We have to get that going, and there was some problems trying to get bids on the net for the baseball park.
Yeah, I understood. Not a lot of bidders there.
Not a lot of bidders, and those that could bid, they couldn't get bonded. So that again is, caused a little grief that way. But we're still trying to get that hammered down and figure out how to do it. So we will.
Well, good. I appreciate that. We have the Riverside Park Playground, I think is a really fun project. That's one where good partnership between your department and our recreation department, who went out and got a big grant, a GoCo grant for about $160,000 or $140,000. The city's putting in $60,000 of our Conservation Trust Fund monies, and Chaffey County is putting in another $10,000 of their Conservation Trust Fund money. So we'll be able to build a brand new playground in Riverside Park this fall for over $200,000 to spend, which means lots of fun equipment and features for all the kids,
Oh yeah,
big and small.
Riverside Park is a very important place for our community. There's so much happens down there, and it's continually used. So we've been doing other things too that maybe goes unnoticed. The trees have been worked on so that we don't have as much of a hazard from falling branches in the wind and such, and I'm really glad to get that done. That's been problematic, and it's been a worry. We also had a problem down there with the band shell, with the concrete. That is now, I'd say 99% done, and should be complete totally this week. So we're making a lot of progress in Riverside, and we keep busy. You know, we got to get all the trash cans ready and everything for the summer.
And we're having staffing. Staffing is a struggle.
Staffing is not easy. We don't have too many people apply for jobs to, you know, clean restrooms and empty trash cans and mow grass.
So if anybody's got a kid home from college for the summer who needs to earn a little bit of money, have them come see Bob. We're desperately looking for seasonal help right now in the Public Works Department, so we can get to all of those things to make the community work a little bit better this summer.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we just, not only in parks, but other things that we just haven't been able to get to because of not having staff to do it. So, you know, the painting didn't happen last year on curbs and such, and I really want to get some of it done this year. I just don't know how we're going to do it, but we will.
Yep.
We will keep working at it.
Yeah, well, we certainly appreciate all that you and your department do. It is an amazing long list of projects that you have on your plate, and it's very impressive that you guys stay on top of it and get as much done as you do.
Yeah, it's fun to be busy, I guess.
Well, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks for joining me.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Salida Scene.